Right. Hello, everyone. Take two. Welcome to our webinar this afternoon. We are delighted to be joined by Kris Trinity, who is the founder of the Aesthetics Marketing Institute, and who is essentially a business coach, consultant, and marketeer with a specialism in aesthetic clinics and helping to support aesthetic clinics to gain new customers. And I was speaking to Kris earlier, who said something delightful to me. So I just want to share that with you. He spoke to me about how he runs a course on marketing, Facebook and Instagram marketing. And this is a course that anyone can do, and he will teach you how to do Facebook and Instagram marketing. And I said to Kris, well, isn't that sort of like the main thing that you're selling? I mean, won't that stop you from selling everyone if you just give everybody the secrets to it? To which Kris said, yes, but it will empower them. It will empower them to know what they can do themselves. And that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone wants to do that themselves. They probably will want my help to do some of this in the future. And I just thought, wow, that is a brilliant ethos. So thank you for that. And thanks for joining us today. And I'm really excited to learn all about virtual consultations with you.
You're welcome, Hayley. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
So, I mean, virtual consultations then, you are doing a lot of this at the moment, aren't you, with your customers that you consult for?
Sure. So, you know, there's obviously been some massive changes in the industry, right? And, you know, as business owners at this particular time, it's important to basically be two things. Number one is resourceful and the other one is resilient. Okay. So when things change dramatically, as they have over the past couple of weeks, you know, as business owners, we have to start thinking outside of the box, and we have to start taking action and thinking about other ways that we can basically move and change our business. So ultimately what we've been doing is we run advertising campaigns on Facebook and also on Instagram for over 57 clinics across the UK. And what we've been doing in the past month, and it's one of the reasons we've been like really, really busy, is we've been switching a lot of our campaigns over from traditional, you know, whether it be, you know, laser tattoo removal, laser hair removal, you know, lip enhancement, whatever it may be. We've been switching over those campaigns now to doing virtual consultations, right? And obviously when we started off, we weren't sure, you know, how things would pan out, but it's gone absolutely crazy, Hayley, in terms of the response that we've had from people. So in terms of the response we've had from our clients' customers. So that's why I really want to share this strategy with everybody and just talk about, you know, how to basically market your way through a recession, because ultimately you know, I think the bottom line is we are in a recession, you know, we're in a global recession, and it's about how we now navigate through that in order to make sure that we have a business on the other side of this, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And in terms of the success that you've had, I mean, I've actually been a bit privy to this because I'm in a number of Facebook groups that you are as well.
Sure.
And I'm seeing genuine clinics posting about taking, you know, a lot of revenue in a day from virtual consults.
Sure.
Mostly with skincare, which we don't, you know, our primary focus is obviously laser rather than skincare, but we do have a skincare line, and a lot of our customers have got multiple skincare lines. So, but not just in that, but also in treatments for the future as well. So
yes,
very positive to hear that news, I think, and to see that in real life actually happening. You know, this isn't theoretical, okay? Clinics out there right now are earning money, a lot of money, some of them, and I'm seeing them talking about it, you know, online. And if you guys in the audience, if you're doing this and you've done some really successful ones, then get in the chat and share that with us, and we'll find out the ins and outs of how to do this in the best possible way from Kris, hopefully today.
Sure. Yeah, I would absolutely love to hear some, you know, some stories of, you know, some success stories from people. So please leave a comment, guys, if you guys are, you know, currently implementing this strategy at the moment, and if you are getting success from it. Yeah.
And the challenges as well, because obviously, I think if you're watching this webinar, then you're interested in how to get over some challenges that you may be facing with your virtual consultations, or learning to get some better tips on ways to do them. So yeah, open forum. Kris has got a great presentation to run through with us, but any questions that you have, there's a Q&A box just at the bottom. So if you pop your questions into the Q&A, then yeah, we'll ask them as we go through.
Wonderful. Okay, so would you like me to get started, Hayley?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Okay, fantastic. Just need to clear my throat. 1 second. Sorry, very embarrassing.
That's all right.
Apologies for that.
That's okay.
Okay, so we'll get started, ladies and gents. Thank you for being here again. Okay, what I like to, what's happened with this now? Okay, here we are. Right. Okay, so I just thought I'd start off with a quote from Charles Darwin. Okay, because I think it really does summarize the current situation that a lot of us find ourselves in at this moment in time, right? And the quote is, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change." Okay, so we are in a situation now, and it's been forced upon us, yeah, where we have to change and we have to adapt our current business models and our way of working in order to fit with what's going on in the marketplace today. Okay, and I think that this summarizes it very well. The one thing that I would add on to this, though, is that it's not just about people who are adaptable to change, but it's also about people who are willing to take action as well. Yeah, so it's about those who are able to take on new concepts or to think outside of the box and then take action and implement that as well. So it's really, really important. Okay, so what we're talking about today primarily is virtual consultations. Okay, right? And what I'm going to talk to you about here is the game changer, because ultimately what I'm going to teach you today, it works in the short term, delivering you cash into your business right now. Okay, and it will also work in the long term as well, because ultimately this is the way that the industry is going to go. And it's not just the aesthetics industry, it's all industries, as I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, so it works for the following types of aesthetic businesses. So whether you do any of these treatments, what I have to show you today is applicable for all of them. So that can include laser hair removal, facials, Botox, fillers, fat freezing, laser tattoo removal, microneedling, hydrofacial, body contouring, skincare routines, and much, much more. Okay, so it's not just for home skincare packages, but it's for in-person treatments as well. Okay, now what I found in my research is that businesses in other industries started innovating straight away. A lot of them started doubling down in terms of what they were doing with regards to online strategies. So me, for example, I'm a member of Gymbox, which is a popular gym chain here in London. And immediately, straight away, when the lockdown started happening in the middle of March, they switched all of their classes over to online classes. Okay, a lot of restaurants, obviously they weren't allowed to, have patrons coming into the restaurants. So they immediately, switched over to using things like Uber Eats and, Postmates and other things like that if they weren't using it before. And even schools, colleges, universities, again, they've switched over now to doing online learning, and, even my children, they're doing online classes at the moment. So, what's happened in the past 4 weeks has been like other industries have been, taking massive steps in terms of, building their online presence. Now, those who were already online, so those are retailers who are already online, think people like Amazon, Wayfair, HelloFresh, Boohoo, loads of other online retailers. In the past 4 weeks, their sales have increased by 59% across the board, right? Which is just like absolutely crazy. Yeah. So, these businesses, who already had an online presence, their sales have, skyrocketed in the past 4 weeks. Okay. Now, this is probably the biggest change, right? And I've noticed this over the past year, that even traditional doctor's surgeries are now becoming virtual. I don't know if anyone else in the comments has seen this, but there's basically an absolute myriad of basically different GP surgeries actually going online. There's Doctor For You, Push Doctor, Babylon, the GP service, iGP. There's literally hundreds of them that have sprung up overnight over the past 12 months. Okay. So, you know, it's not just, you know, traditional online retailers, but it's also, you know, doctors' surgeries as well, which is incredible. Okay. So the fact is that whilst your business may be currently closed, your customers still want to look and feel like the best versions of themselves. Okay. Most of the time, your customers still want to, you know, they want to take care of themselves. They still want to pamper themselves. Okay. So the question becomes, how do you ensure that your business does not go extinct? Okay. So, you know, a lot of the clients I spoke to, you know, they literally went from having a clinic where they were seeing, you know, 40, 50 customers a week to shutting the doors, you know, the following week. And, you know, it scared them. I'm sure it scared everyone in the industry, you know, as well. So, you know, the question that, you know, a lot of people are asking themselves is, you know, how do I ensure that, you know, my business does not go extinct? How do I ensure that, you know, I can continue trading through this situation? And the answer, Hayley, quite simply is by going virtual. Okay. So it's by basically creating a business model, or, you know, changing your business model slightly so that you're not just an in-person clinic or not just an in-person service, but, you know, so that you are also doing part of that virtually. So you're also doing that part of that the way that we're doing it now, and the way that we're interacting with each other now, Hayley. Okay. So no matter the economy, right, your clients only care about two things, right? They want to know, you know, what's in it for them, or how can you help them? And they want you to be able to find a solution to their biggest problems. Okay. This is what all of us are looking for. You know, we want to find out, you know, we want to find a solution to our biggest problems, and whether that's an issue with our skin, or whether it's an issue with, you know, our, you know, the elasticity in our skin, or whatever it may be. Okay. Everybody is looking actively for solutions to basically improve themselves and empower themselves. Okay. So what I'm going to talk to you about here today is not about, you know, this solution is not about being salesy or marketing hard during a pandemic, right? This is all about providing value to your target audience who still need your help. Okay. Just because they can't come and visit you in person, your customers still need your help. They still need you to, you know, solve their biggest problems, whatever they may be. Okay. So we'll talk through this, and Hayley, you know, if you do have any questions, please do let me know. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, will do.
So I'll just walk you through very quickly the, you know, the typical customer journey. This is the old way of doing things, right? So step one is obviously customers find out about you, you know, whether that's through word of mouth, social media, advertising, your website, billboards, posters, magazines, whatever it may be. Step two, they then travel to you. So they then visit your clinic in person. Yeah, that's step three. And step four, you know, they have the treatment and then they pay for the services or whatever it may be. Okay, so this is basically the old way. This is how it, you know, how businesses traditionally worked. Now this is the new way, right? And I call this the immediate solution. What I mean by that is that this is the solution that you can implement today. So step one is, you know, the customer finds out about you through the normal, you know, through the normal methods. Step two, they have a virtual consultation with you. Okay. And then step three, they pay you for your services. So whether that is, you know, they're paying for like a home care kit, skincare, you know, skincare products, or whether they're basically booking in advance for, you know, for whatever treatments that it is that you offer. Okay. So here is the new way. This is basically going to be the long-term solution. Now I call this the hybrid method because it's basically a combination of the old way and also the way that we're moving towards. So again, step one, customer finds out about you. Step two, they have a virtual consultation. Step three, they pay for your services over the virtual, you know, when they're having the virtual consultation. You know, step four, they visit your business, you know, or you provide a home care package or whatever it may be. And then step five, they become a lifetime customer. Okay. So what's different or what's added in this step here is basically the step two is the virtual consultation, right? Now, the reason that this is getting added in here, and this is very, very important, right, is that this additional step, what you're doing with the virtual consultation, okay, is that you're getting to understand your customers' needs, wants, goals, and desires, okay, right? And by doing that virtually, yeah, by having, you know, like a Zoom call or whatever it may be with that person, okay, you are basically building that know, like, and trust factor within yourself. You're helping to build that relationship and that rapport. So once that person's had a consultation with you, via Zoom or whatever it may be, WhatsApp video call, for example. Okay, yeah, because they're seeing you face to face, and you're having that personal interaction with them. You're building your relationship with them, and you're building your trust in them, and you're letting them know that you can actually, solve the problem that they may have. Or if they've come to you with, a problem that you don't have a solution for at a particular time, you can basically shake hands and part as friends, if that makes sense. But ultimately, the power of the virtual consultation is that you are building that relationship with them, okay? And you're building that know, like, and trust factor. All right. So why virtual consultations? Okay. So number one, you're helping your customers solve their problems today. Number two, you're building rapport with your prospect or customer. Number three, you can take cash in hand up front. So you're taking deposits, or you're taking a payment now for a particular treatment or service or whatever it may be. And number four, you could also book appointments for future in-person treatments as well. Okay. So the important thing to remember here is that you're not changing your business. Your business does not change, right? The only thing that is changing is the way in which you are selling your treatments and products. That is it. Okay, so you're adding an extra step into your current selling process. All right. So ultimately you were doing business with your customers on their terms. You're making things safe, easy, quick, and cost effective by doing virtual consultations. Yeah.
I think you're probably, and this is only really just dawning on me, but that process, the hybrid process, is probably going to increase your conversion rate from any inquiry.
Absolutely, 100%. Yep, and it's doing that for some of our clients right now, which I'll discuss and I'll show you. But yeah, it absolutely will increase your conversion rate. 100%.
We come out of lockdown and someone's interested in hair removal. They phone 3 clinics, and the one that says, well, let's jump on a Zoom and have a chat about it, and versus the other clinic that says, well, I'll book you in for a consultation in 2 weeks' time. And who is the person likely to? That's right.
Who's the person on the other end of the phone? You don't have that rapport with the individual. It's much easier to see someone face to face, and you build that relationship with them, don't you? So yes, absolutely, your conversion skyrockets by doing it this way. Yeah.
But my sales team will never do a phone call again now. I'll just get them to do a Zoom every time.
That's a good idea. Yeah. That's all I do. That's how I communicate with my clients. I just communicate with my clients via Zoom. So and it adds that personal touch in as well, and it builds that trust, which is most important. So by not doing this currently, you're missing out on a massive opportunity you have in front of you to grow your business and to bring your business model into the new era that we are being basically forced to step into. And if you do not make that change, the bottom line is your competitors will, very simply. So this will work, in case people are saying, we always tell ourselves stories about anything new that's presented in front of us, right? So, in case you're thinking, well, I'm a little bit of an introvert, and, don't feel that comfortable making small talk with people face to face, okay? This is going to work for you, and I'll show you how it also works for technophobes, because believe you me, it is a lot simpler than, a lot of people would think it is. It will also work for people who hate making small talk. I'm one of those people as well. I really don't like making small talk. I feel a little bit awkward about it sometimes. And then, people who hate being on camera. Okay, right. So, I promise you, this is a very, very straightforward and simple way, to go about this. It's not something that's going to take a lot of extra work. Okay, so there are basically 6 steps to this process. So you guys might want to take out your pen and pads and make some notes on this, okay? So step 1, we start with creating an offer. So ultimately, your offer is what it is that you want to sell, okay? So, is it home care solution, packages that you want to sell? Is it going to be, your current treatments, but you're going to, sell them for a future date? Step 2, we need to set up our appointment system. Step 3, basically is reaching out to your existing client base, because that is going to be your bread and butter, and those will, blatantly be your first sales. Yeah. Step 4 is to basically generate new customer opportunities. Okay. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to do that. Step 5 is, creating a consultation script. So when I was speaking, talking about people who hate making small talk or people who feel awkward when they're speaking to new customers on the phone, this is really going to help you to basically get through that process of having those conversations. And then step 6 is going to be to set up a consultation presentation. So you're going to create an actual presentation, much like what I'm showing you now here, and you're going to walk your customers through that presentation. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is, without further delay, I'm just going to introduce you to a couple of clients of ours. So this is Kris and Annabelle Bourne. Okay. So they own and operate a clinic in the heart of Wolverhampton. They've been working for over 10 years in the industry. They've got 3 members of staff, and they perform a variety of treatments, low end to advanced aesthetic treatments. So they provide injectable treatments, and they also provide laser hair removal and IPL treatments as well. Okay. Now, when COVID-19 hit, they did not know what to do. Okay. So, like many of you guys out there, when this pandemic hit, you were like, holy cow, my business has to shut down. My doors have to close. What do I do now? Right. So what we did is we sat down, we had a conversation, and we decided to basically implement a 6-step virtual consultation strategy. Okay. At that time. Right. That is the process that I've just spoken with you and gone through here. And here are some of the results, right? And I'll be very upfront with you. It's actually changing on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So as I speak now, Annabelle's actually doing a virtual consultation right now. Okay. Probably closing a sale as well. Right. Here is what happened. In just 2 short weeks, I sat at home. Annabelle made £4,000 in new and existing customer sales. Yeah. Like it's in literally 14 days, she made £4,000 worth of sales. Okay. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. She even said here, if I did 4K in a month, the first month I opened, I'll be buzzing, but I'm doing it for my kitchen in my downtime. So the potential, is serious. Okay. Now, on top of that, obviously, it's great to have money in the bank, but on top of that, she also generated 51 and counting customer opportunities in 16 days. So she literally, she's generating, and today, right now, she's still generating customer opportunities as well. We're helping her to do that, just through this process, right? So these people she's capturing, when I say customer opportunities, what I mean is she's capturing names, telephone numbers, and email addresses of prospects. And then she's reaching out to them and booking them in for the virtual consultation. Okay. But she's not alone. Also, another client of ours called Nana from Eastar Med Spa. She sold a weight loss program and skincare plan worth £1,000 on her very first day. Okay, which is just like absolutely insane. Now, again, because this is literally changing on a day-to-day basis, right? Yeah. So Nana's actually at £3,500 this week worth of sales. I mean, and this is over the course of 2 weeks. So she's just absolutely killing it at the moment. And, she's, as you can see, she's selling a combination of different things. She's got, a skincare program and also, like a weight loss program as well. Yeah. So it's not just one thing that you can sell. You can sell a variety of things as well. Okay. Now, the thing is, right, neither of them had done virtual consultations before. This is like 4 weeks ago. This is absolutely brand new, right? However, they both knew one thing, that regardless of the current circumstances, their customers still want to look and feel like the best versions of themselves, right? So that hasn't changed. Yes, business is shut down, but their customers still want, still want to look and feel like the best version of themselves ultimately. So what we realized very quickly is that it's not, it's not necessary to conduct in-person consultations on every occasion. Now, obviously, if you're, prescribing something that's medical, that's a completely different conversation. However, you can still have a virtual consultation with those people, and get them to, show you, what areas they want treated, etc. And then have the in-person consultation as well. But again, what you're doing, and Hayley, as you're 100% right, is you're increasing your chance of taking that inquiry into an actual in-person consultation and then an actual paying customer, if that makes sense. So we also found that their clients valued the convenience of a virtual consultation. I mean, their clients are literally sitting in their living room, and you know, the esthetician is literally sitting in her living room or kitchen and conducting the consultation. It's easy, it's quick, and you know, it's convenient. Combining an at-home and in-person consultations is a win-win for everybody, right? Number 4, conducting virtual consultations from home. Their customers had more time to spend with them. Okay, so because they were at home, and not because, you know, they'd taken half an hour to travel to the clinic, you know, inside of the clinic for an hour, and then having to rush off to pick up the kids, or to, you know, go back to work, or whatever it may be, because they're in the comfort of their own home, they had more time to spend with them over the call, if that makes sense. And also the average, number 5, the average order value per sale was 150 quid. I mean, that's like, you know, that's absolutely amazing. Yeah. To be able to do something like that from the comfort and convenience of your own home, you know, within an hour, you know, and you're taking orders of, you know, 150 pounds, you know, that's just, you know, it's amazing. Okay. And here is the big difference as well. They can now serve any customer in any part of the country. So for example, yeah, Annabelle is not just, you know, Annabelle and Kris, you know, they're not just, you know, serving people in Wolverhampton now. They can do their consultations with anybody, anywhere in the country at any time. Yeah. So they're not just looking at local clients now. Now they've expanded their marketing to basically cover the UK, which is, you know, a very unique opportunity and absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. So again, you know, this is the 6-step system. It's, you know, number 1, create an offer. Number 2, set up an appointment and booking system. Number 3, you know, reach out to existing customers. Number 4, generate new customer opportunities via advertising. Number 5, you know, structure out a consultation script. And number 6, you know, put together a consultation presentation. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through each of these steps now. And, you know, you can ask me any questions that you may have at the end of each step, Hayley. Okay. Or anybody have any questions, leave them in the comments. All right. So step 1 is going to be your offer. So your offer is basically what it is that you're going to sell. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this process starts with what you are offering your customer base / your target audience. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you could offer home care packages. So you could put together, you know, skincare packages which resolve a specific problem your target audience face. So that could be acne, it could be rosacea, it could be, you know, some sort of, you know, like a retinol treatment or something along those lines. And the brands that you can reach out to are, you know, Illumia and you know, and Obagi. You also said that you've got a skincare range as well. Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that? What types of products?
So people can still order the Lynton skincare. So if you want the cleansers, the SPF obviously now is a really good thing to put in front of people. I think the Light Soothe, you know, for people who are overwashing their hands, is working well for some clinics. So you've got the full range that you can still order from us and we can post out.
Yeah, amazing. So, you know, and if you don't want to get into skincare for whatever reason, right, you can still market and promote your existing services. So what you're going to focus on is pre-selling your existing services before your business reopens. Okay. So the way that you would do this is you would offer something additional of value to incentivize people to book in. So offer a complimentary treatment, or, you know, an additional, you know, something of additional value. So for example, if you are doing, I don't know, some sort of facial treatment like the hydrofacial, for example, you know, you could do the, you know, the typical facial process and then offer as like, you know, like a complimentary upsell, you know, they get the, you know, the LED mask or whatever it may be on top of that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So just offer something of additional value, you know, to take those pre-bookings before your doors start opening again. Mm.
Okay. Can I make a suggestion, just like, I guess more so for Lynton customers, in terms of what you pick your offer to be? It would probably be sensible to look at your best sellers this time last year, perhaps. So, you know, I was thinking about, okay, well, you know, if we start to move now into a position where we start pushing laser sales again, you know, which products are we going to go for? hair removal, because it skin rejuvenation. These are the big hitters, aren't they? So sort of focus on what is your best sellers and what sells well, and focus on that would be my thoughts, really. I don't know, Kris, whether you think the same or.
No, you've totally hit the nail on the head. Look at what was selling well last year and just basically focus on that now, because this, whatever you were selling the most of at this time last year is what customers are going to be thinking about today. So I totally agree with you on that. Okay. All right. So we'll go on to the next slide then. So frozen there, one sec. Okay, so step 2 is basically we set up your appointment system. Okay, now what we do here is we're just going to keep it really, really simple, super simple, guys. Yeah, the 2 applications you're going to use, and they're dirt cheap as well, by the way. 2 applications you're going to use is number 1, Calendly. Okay, so Calendly is basically a calendar system, if you don't have one already, where people can just go in and they can just book themselves in for the call or the virtual consultation. Okay, so if you don't have a system, Calendly is like really easy to use. It's dirt cheap. I think it's like a tenner a month. There's more advanced options, but you don't need that. Just use the basic version of that. Okay, and then the second thing you're going to use is Zoom, which is what we're using now to conduct video consultations. So you can record your meetings for free. You can watch the playback of the recordings, to make sure that you're improving your process as well. Yeah, so you can see what worked on one call versus what didn't work on the other call. Okay, you can think about the types of questions you were asking on the different calls, and you can improve your process in that way. So it's a lot more measured. Yeah, and again, I think Zoom, I pay for Zoom, but I think Zoom has a free option, and then there's like the more advanced paid options as well after that.
Yeah, so I think if you're on the free Zoom membership, then your call time is 40 minutes.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
then if you want the option where you've got unlimited call time, I think that's £11.99 a month or something like that. But I think they're doing pretty good offers at the moment. So
again, that's like that's like two cups of coffee a week or something like that from Starbucks. It's nothing, isn't it?
The nice thing about it is obviously you can use FaceTime or WhatsApp to do this, but I think for me, I'm doing most of my calls with Zoom because I can share the presentations. And if that's going to be in this process, sharing the presentations with Zoom is really easy. So
yeah, absolutely. So that's why I would recommend Zoom, totally. Yeah. So that's step 2. Step 3 is basically email and outreach to your existing customers. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to send out a series of, let's just say 5 to 10 emails to your existing customer base, letting them know about your amazing new offer. Okay, so what you want to talk about in the emails, some people may see that and they're like, oh my God, 5 to 10 emails, that's a lot to think about, but it's really, really easy. Like, I could come up with 5 to 10 emails like that, and they don't have to be like long, hundreds of words emails. They can be really, really short and concise. What you're going to talk about in those emails is basically what problem your offer resolves. Talk about what's included when you do the virtual consultation, okay, or what's included in the treatments that you're offering, the packages, how it works, okay, how they can book in. So you're going to use Calendly again for it. And then also what you want to do as well, and this is a little marketing trick that we use, okay, you want to add a little bit of scarcity in there, okay, right? So you just want to say that, for this month only, I can only take X number of bookings, or X number of virtual consultations, okay, right? Now, the reason you're doing that is just simply you want to incentivize people to book in as quickly as possible. So you're just trying to, incentivize people to get booked in and, to have their virtual consultations. But, things that you can talk about in your emails, you can talk about, you can have like, one particular benefit of each of the treatments, every single day. So you could do like, if let's just say that, your SPF product or whatever it is has, 4 to 5 different benefits to it. You can talk on each email each day about one of the specific benefits of that treatment or that product, and also why it's important as well. And that's it. And that's how you spread them out. And always include a call to action at the end of that as well. So always ask people to basically, if you want to go ahead and book in with me, here's the link to Calendly, get in contact with me and schedule your consultation.
We have a question, Kris, from Tina, who she's just opened her business and she hasn't yet got this active client base to market to. So what can she do about that? How else can she go about reaching people, I guess, to put this offer in front of them?
Okay, great question, Tina. So what you're going to do is you're going to skip step 3 and you're going to go straight on to step 4. Okay. So step 4 is when this decides to work. Step 4 is generate new customers. Okay, generate new customers. And what you're going to use quite simply in order to generate new customers is you're going to basically run advertising on Facebook. So you're going to put adverts on Facebook and also Instagram. Facebook is the fastest and most cost-effective way to get in front of your ideal customers. Okay, here is why Facebook is the #1 marketing channel in the world. First of all, it has 2 billion active users. Okay, now that number is absolutely insane. Yeah, if you think about, let's just say, what's the population of the world? Like 6 billion people. Yeah, probably half of them live in like forested jungles or things like that, or in the desert. Yeah, right. So you've got like 2/3 of the world's population using Facebook at the moment. In the UK, you've got 41 million people in the UK using Facebook. That's like, I think we have a population in the UK of like 65 million people. So that's basically 75% of the population are actively using Facebook every single month. Number 3, the average user spends 43 minutes per day on Facebook. Yeah. Now, do you think that during this quarantine period, do you think time has gone up, or do you think that time's gone down? What do you think? It's gone up, right? Yeah, people are literally scrolling on their newsfeed for hours and hours a day. Yeah, using Facebook and also Instagram as well. Okay,
I've had to set my boundaries on it. So just I need to set some.
You get addicted, don't you? And then they've got all these viral videos and different things on there as well. And yeah, so you get really addicted. And then number 4, and this is probably the most important one, right? The smartphone has replaced the TV. Hayley, I'm sure you would agree with me on that. Yeah. TV used to be the #1 medium or channel that, that people used to get their information from, or they used to be entertained on. Now with regards to the smartphone, not only do you have entertainment on there and can you get information on there as well, but you can also communicate, which is the difference that makes a difference, right? You can communicate with people, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, all of the different new channels. But at the end of the day, the smartphone has replaced the TV, and that is where people are spending most of their time, and that's where your target audience are. Ultimately, that's where they're spending most of their time. So that is why Facebook is without a doubt the #1 marketing channel at the moment. Something else I'll add on to that as well, okay, is that it's probably not a secret as well, Hayley, but over the past 15 years Facebook have actually been collecting data on all of its users. Yeah. So, they know that, like, for example, they know that I like to go to Nando's 3 times a week, yeah, to go and eat, right? They know Nando's is my favorite restaurant. They probably know what TV shows I watch. They know what websites I go on to. So if I go onto like a men's shopping website or whatever it is, I'll get retargeted with other adverts from other, men's shopping websites. Okay. They know how old I am, they know my birthday, they know where I live, they know where I work, where my offices are located. Yeah. So they've been collecting data on people for the past 15 years. So they have a pretty good, when you set up an advertising campaign on Facebook, they have a pretty good idea on who your target audience is, basically, and where they're based. Yeah. And so and what they're interested in. So ultimately, if you use Facebook advertising, which I recommend everybody does, we spend a lot of money on there every month. You'll be able to very quickly and easily get your get in front of your ideal customers. Do you have any questions about that or anything? No. Okay, all right, cool. So we'll move on to that. Step 5, and this is really, really important, right? And this is for the people who don't like small talk like me, or find it a little bit awkward meeting people for the first time. Okay, right?
Sorry, Kris, we did just have a question there just before you go to step 5. So
go ahead.
Would you leave the targeting just to Facebook? So would you recommend that that's the only platform to advertise your consults on, or?
I think when you're starting, I think you should start off with Facebook and also Instagram as well. Okay. I think when you're starting off, you definitely start off with the, with those two channels. If you didn't know, by the way, guys, Facebook owns Instagram, so it's basically the same thing that you're advertising on. So I would start with those two channels. I would start with a budget of around about £120 a week. Okay. Basically, yeah, I would focus on getting people to go from the actual, from Facebook to booking a consultation with you. That's what I would focus on.
So £120 a week, and you would specify that for the target audience?
Yep. So what I would do is primarily I would focus on females. Yep. And I would think about who you, as a business, the age group, because what you can do on Facebook, and this is like absolutely incredible. Yeah. You can target people based on like hundreds of pieces of criteria and information. You can target them on gender, age, where they live, where they work, what their income is. You can target them based on if they're a homeowner or if they're renting. You can target them based on if they're parents, how many children they've got. There's so much data and information inside of there that you can use to basically target people. So, what you can do is, and the way that I would start is, number one, I would target people 5 to 10 miles around your business. That's the first place I would start. Number two, I would keep the targeting focused on women to start with, okay? And then number three, I would also target people based on their age, yeah? So I would target people based on, sort of 25 years and upwards. If your target audience is slightly older demographic, then that's to say it's, 40 plus, then just focus on, people from 35 upwards, if that makes sense, yeah? But, don't go too deep when you're starting out. Don't go too deep into the targeting. Yeah, just try to focus on those three areas which I've spoken about, which are age, gender, and location, which should be 5 to 10 miles around your business. I hope that helps. You've muted yourself, Hayley.
Sorry, there was an aeroplane going past.
Oh.
Guys, like one plane a day we're getting at the moment.
Yeah.
A bit noisy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so Christine is just in the chat, and she's just asking about, if your offer was going to be laser hair removal, would you put anything else into this, or would you still keep to those three criteria for the target audience? So
I would stick to those three criteria. Yeah. So again, it's gender, age, location. Yeah. That's all I would focus on at this moment in time.
So if you ran an ad in Facebook for a 5 to 10 mile area, female, 25 plus years, £120 budget a week, how many people would you say that gets in front of, that ad? Or is that an impossible question? I'm not testing you, because I don't know. I don't do any Facebook advertising. I don't know how many people is it going to get in front of?
No, that's a difficult question to answer, just simply because it depends on where you live and sort of how busy you are in terms of your area. Like I live in the heart of West London, right? I live in Shepherd's Bush, yeah. So at the end of the day, I can do an advert that's going to target 5 miles around where I live, and I'm probably going to get 1 million people in my area, and that's too much, right? So what you should focus on is try to get, the reason I say 5 to 10 miles, yeah, is try to target at least 50,000 people.
Okay.
Right. So when you go inside of Facebook, it will tell you, with this ad spend or with this budget, it will reach X a number of people. And what you want to do is you want to try and target at least 50,000 people minimum. Okay. I hope that helps in some small way.
Cool.
All right. Cool. All right. So we move on. So then next step is basically create a consultation script. Okay. So again, this helps for the people who, might find it a little bit awkward, talking to people over Zoom, or, making small talk with people or whatever it is. And what you need to do is just basically create a script. So if you think about every great actor in every great movie ever made, they all start, every great film role, they all start with one thing, and that is basically a script, okay, or an outline, a structure of, a way of talking and communicating, okay. So have a structure in place that will help the conversations to be natural, focused, and also to help the conversations to flow, okay? So here is how I would structure my script, okay? So step one, I would basically set the agenda. So first of all, you want to thank the person when you're speaking to them via Zoom. You want to thank them for, for jumping on the call, and you want to set the agenda. You want to let them know how, how this call is going to be structured out. Okay, right? And importantly, you want to let them know as well, and this is really important, right? Is that you want to let them know that, at the end of the call, at the end of the call, Jane, I'm gonna, I have some fantastic products and treatments and stuff that I offer. Okay, at the end of the call, if it sounds like this is a good fit for you, and you think that this can actually help you to, to reach your goals or whatever it is, I will ask you, if you're happy to go ahead and to, purchase these treatments or products if they are a good fit for you. Is that okay? So just ask their permission and just, let them know. People are always going to say, yep, that's absolutely fine. So you want to let them know that at the end of the call, you will ask them to make a buying decision or a purchasing decision. Okay. So that's setting the agenda. Step two is a fact find. And this is definitely going to be the largest part of the call. Okay. So this is where you really want to uncover, their goals, what it is they're trying to achieve. All right. You want to find out, what products they're currently using, or what they've used, what treatments they've had in the past, and ultimately, why those treatments haven't worked or why they feel like they're not working. And then, you want to talk about what you can do to help them get to the point where, they feel that they're happy, or, they're getting a result. Okay. So you need to understand their needs, wants, goals, and desires. Okay. That is the whole purpose of the fact find, is to understand their needs, wants, goals, and desires, right? And then at the end of the fact find, so once you've gone through the questions, you want to confirm that they need help now. So you want to say to them and make sure that you pre-qualify them, and you want to make sure that, Jane, can I just ask, is this something that you need help resolving today, or is this something that you're thinking about resolving in, 3 to 6 months time, or do you need help with this today? Okay. Mm-hmm. And then the next step is you're going to recap and commit. So when you're speaking to the prospect over the phone, just like you've been doing, Hayley, yeah, you just basically make notes. So take notes on everything that the customer is saying to you. Okay, so if the customer said, well, I've been trying, Clarence products, and they just don't work for me, or I think it's an expensive waste of money, or whatever it may be. Make a note of it. Yeah, they want Clarence products. Okay, if a person says, I've really struggled with acne, and it's just, I've totally lost my confidence. I don't feel comfortable going out. I'm having to use tons of makeup. Make a note on that. Okay. So at the end of the call, or at the end of the fact find, what you want to do is you want to recap that information to them. Yeah. So just, say it back to them and get them to commit to that information. So get them to just confirm that, yes, you're right. That is what I said to you. And, that is what I am struggling with. Okay. Next step is basically provide the solution. So at this point here, this is where you're going to introduce your, the next step, which is basically your consultation presentation, your presentation. Okay. Right. So you're going to then walk them through what your solution is, what is the solution that you provide. You're going to explain the next steps. So in other words, how they can get started with you. And then finally, you're going to close them. So you're going to ask them for the sale. You're going to say to them, does this, and at that point, asking for the sale. And I know this is, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. I even struggle with it at times as well, asking for the sale. Yeah. At that point, it shouldn't feel awkward, right? And it shouldn't feel like, like a big ask. Because you've taken the time to get to know them. You've taken the time to get to know their needs, wants, goals, and desires. Okay. You have a good understanding of them. You've built rapport with them by speaking to them face to face. So at that point, the close should be a very, very simple process. So it should just be saying, would you like to get started with this now? Are you happy to go ahead? Are you happy to proceed based on what you've seen in the evidence that I presented to you? Is this a good fit for is this a good fit for what you're looking for currently? And that should be it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does that do you have any questions about that, Hayley? That structure? No? Yeah. Okay. Do we have any questions about that?
Oh, yeah. So what's the reason for mentioning right at the beginning that you're going to be asking for a sale?
Okay. That's a good question. So what you're doing is you're not saying to them that I will ask you for a sale at the end of the call. What you're saying to them is that if what I show you is a good fit for you today, yeah, and if at the end of this conversation you feel that I can actually help you to achieve your goals, yeah, then what I will do is I will present you with some solutions, and if those solutions fit in with what you need, then I will ask you if you want to become a customer or if you want to make a purchase, right? So what you're doing is you're basically preempting them, and you're setting the agenda. You're letting them know in advance that that yes, I will be here to help you and to provide a solution to your problems, but at the end of the day, I am a commercial business. I'm not a charity, so I'm not going to send you sort of free samples or something like that in a post. I would like you to become a customer if this fits in with what you need help with, if that makes sense.
And are your clients charging for this service?
No. So it's a complimentary consultation.
Okay. And Andrew was just asking about the sales figures that we saw earlier from your the success stories.
Mm-hmm.
Are they for skincare and up and coming offers on services after the lockdown has ended? So is it a mix? Is it mostly skincare? What's your...
Sure, great question, Andrea. So it's a mix, but it's primarily skincare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a mix. So our client, like Annabelle, for example, she's taken bookings in advance for future treatments, where for when her doors open back up. But primarily, it has been skincare products.
It will be what you, in a way, it can be what you want it to be, can't it? So if you decide that you want to run the offer on laser hair removal, you could pitch that as it's going to be 6 treatments, so you'll be hair free just at that time where you probably are going to be going on holiday again. That might be a nice pitch for the online consults for laser hair removal. And then when you're on that consultation with them, you're talking to somebody who's really, they're only on that consultation because they're interested in hair removal.
Exactly, that's right.
So you'll sell more hair removal. And if you put the idea, I guess, is you put an offer together to get them to make that commitment to you now, put down a deposit, pay for a certain amount of that course in exchange for an offer on that.
That's right. Yeah. I should have said that at the beginning as well.
No, you did.
Actually,
just,
okay.
Yeah.
It does. Your offer does need to be specific. So you need to sell one thing to one target market and have one marketing message behind it. Yeah. Really, really important. Some people, they just say, they're very broad based and they're very generic, right? But what you need to remember is that with regards to your offer, you are solving a specific problem. Okay. So your offer should always be focused on solving a specific problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. And then step 6, final step, is basically create a consultation presentation. All right. So what you want to do is you want to create an actual presentation using Google Slides or PowerPoint. Very, very easy to use now, guys. Yeah. Right. You can get this done literally in half a day, right? That you can actually show and demonstrate to your client base. Okay. So here's a structure you want to follow in terms of creating the consultation presentation. So number 1, obviously going to start about yourself, about the clinic, for example. Yeah. And then number 2, you're going to, talk about you. So who you are, what you specialize in, your qualifications, or any of that, any of that stuff. Step 3, you're going to basically start talking about some success stories. So you're going to start demonstrating, actual images or videos of your success stories. Haley was talking a little bit earlier, was saying about, absolutely your best selling tool is stories, isn't it? It comes from story-based selling, doesn't it?
Yeah. So if you can get a before and after that you've generated yourself, that will work really well. And just talking about a client that you've had a successful treatment on. So just before lockdown, I finished a course of hair removal on one of my clients, and this was the result. And if they've left you a little testimonial, or go and get a testimonial from one of your customers and put that into your presentation, then that works well.
Absolutely. So I always say to people that your number one sales tool is always going to be testimonials, video testimonials, written testimonials, okay? Right, stories from existing customers. Number 4 in your presentation, so you're going to talk about what products or devices you use and why. So why you've chosen to use, you know, a Lynton laser device, or, you know, why you've chosen to use a particular skincare range. Yeah. Number 5, you're going to talk about the specific problems specific problems or concerns. So for example, you know, if somebody, you're going to talk about the specific problems or concerns that the person is struggling with. Okay. Number 6, you're going to present your solution at that point. Okay. And then or solutions that you offer. And then number 7, you're going to talk about price points, options. So what's included and how they can get started. Okay. Do we have any questions about that?
That's brilliant. I think that's fantastic, you know, to have that kind of structure to it. And you can definitely see how this is very different to just saying, okay, I'm going to do some virtual consultations now. I'll put a few Instagram posts out saying virtual consultations now on offer. You know, this is a really thorough, structured way to do it. And I can see that, yeah, £120 a week, but you put this in front of 50,000 people. I mean, you do not need a lot of high conversion rate off that to
more than make your money back.
Genuinely good revenue now. Yeah.
And additionally as well, so do we have any questions about that before we go on? I've got a little bonus for people. Okay. All right. So additionally to that, right, and this is a little bonus, this is an additional step, right? What we're going to do once we do that, is we're going to then create a bulletproof follow-up process. Okay. So we're going to create a follow-up process with people who then become customers at that point. Okay. Right. So the reason we're doing that is because we are trying to focus on something called customer lifetime value. And what I want to do is I just want to break that down. I'm sure, Hayley, you probably know what customer lifetime value means, yeah? But we want to talk about that a little bit because that's really, really important, right? So customer lifetime value is the amount of money a single customer will spend with you over the period of a specific period of time, okay? So here's an example, right? Jane comes to Kris's aesthetics for lip filler treatment. Kris charges £250 for 1.1 mil of filler. Jane then returns for another lip enhancement treatment 6 months later on, okay? That means that over the course of a year, so over the course of 12 months, Jane's lifetime value is approximately £500, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? So increase lifetime value, right? You can increase customer lifetime value by selling more frequently to existing customers and new clients. For example, right? Upselling, yeah? So getting a customer to go from a single treatment, yeah, or a single home care package or whatever it is, and then basically selling a course of package or treatments on the back of that, okay? And then cross-selling. So selling a customer a different treatment to one that they already are having, right? So Hayley, can you give me like examples of this? Because I know you probably talk about a little bit about this to some of your clients. So can you give me a specific example using Lynton?
Yes. So if, for example, maybe you have treated somebody in the past for some thread vessel removal, now might be a good time to offer them an upsell to a full Illumi facial, which is like a more extensive version of a treatment. It could be that you've got somebody who you've previously treated the someone's body area for hair removal. So let's say you've done underarm laser hair removal on somebody last year, or finished it earlier this year. And now you're looking at, okay, well, could they have bikini now? Could they have full leg now? So, you know, sort of a focused target on people who, you know, you've treated for one area to now encourage them to move to the next area.
Yeah.
Does that help? Is that about right?
No, fantastic. You hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay. So the only way to increase customer lifetime value is to basically get them to, you know, to become customers more frequently. Yeah. So, you know, you want to have customers coming back to you every, you know, sort of 8 weeks or whatever it may be. And that will really help to increase their lifetime value. Now, in an ideal scenario, right, is you want to have each customer returning to you, as I said, every, you know, sort of 6 to 8 weeks for a combination of in-person treatments and, you know, maybe even home care products as well. So for example, you know, after a successful virtual consultation, Jane buys a home care package from Kris's Aesthetics, which costs £150. Her package lasts for 6 weeks, and after weekly check-in calls with Kris, her repeat purchases from home care package is another £150. This means that Jane's potential lifetime value over the course of 12 months is now £1,350, right? So you can see there's a significant jump there from having, you know, having Jane come in, you know, twice over the course of the year for one treatment, you know, as opposed to having Jane coming in every 6 to 8 weeks, you know, for some sort of repeat treatment. So like, if we talk about laser hair removal, for example, right? How often do clients come back for laser hair removal if they're having like a package or course of treatments?
Every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, sure. So this fits in perfectly with that. And what would, you know, what's the average cost of like a package of treatments?
It varies completely from area to area. So
Sure.
let's say a minimum of £500 or something like that for a small area.
Okay, sure. So, you know, this works very well with that. And then when you then, you know, cross sell onto, you know, let's just say home care packages and different things like that, the lifetime value of each customer will skyrocket. Yeah. So, you know, that should really be your focus. Now, when we're talking about creating a bulletproof follow-up process, right? This is what we want to do with after the virtual consultations. We want to have things like bi-weekly check-in calls. So, you know, if you've had somebody schedule in a call on Calendly initially, and they've made a purchase from you at the end of that consultation, get them to immediately schedule in a second call, you know, with you via Calendly. You can do email follow-ups as well. Just very simple one-liner emails, you know, hey Jane, how are you getting on? How are you finding the products are working so far? Are you enjoying using them, or whatever it may be? And then, you know, number 3, you can also do monthly virtual consultations as well with your clients. So you can do, you know, checking consultations with them, find out how they're getting on, you know, if they have any questions, or if there's anything that they're struggling with, or if there's any way that you can help them even more, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you find that some of your clients do this do this a lot, Hayley? Do they have like a follow-up process in place?
I think some do and some don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and I'm speaking for the audience here, so please chip in, but I think what's tricky sometimes is when you go from being really busy to then a bit quiet and a bit busy and a bit quiet. And so in those busy times, you let things sort of stop a little bit, and then you find yourself with a dip. So it's like managing that sales pipeline in a way. How can you automate it or just set the time aside to do this, to make sure the diary stays full, kind of consistently?
Sure. So, I mean, that's, you know, that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And a great point you've made there. Yeah. And there's one key word that you said in there. Yeah. That is a solution. And that key word is automate. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to try and automate these processes as much as possible. Right. We want to get clients to book themselves in. Yeah. We want to basically, you know, have a situation. We're not manually typing emails. Yeah. So we might want to use something like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, or, you know, whatever booking system you have that just pings out these emails for you, automatically. So rather than you having to, like, you know, constantly, you know, send messages out manually, you want to just automate and streamline that entire process.
Like someone said, Forrest, a lot of people have got the salon software systems, haven't they, where that it will allow them to automate it. But yeah, I don't know, is everybody doing follow-up? So you all, do you have a process? Do you do it on the quieter afternoons? Or we'll give people a minute to kind of chip in and chat about that. But just come back
let us know in the comments.
There's an interesting question here, which is about, is it okay now to sell hair removal whilst we're still closed? How can I instill confidence in people to help part with their cash when we can't guarantee when we're going to open again?
Sure. Okay. Well, that's a great question. Yeah. And, you know, ultimately, what you want to do is, obviously your business is going to open again. Yeah. You know, I think me and Hayley were sort of guesstimating earlier on today that, you know, it probably will be the beginning of June. Yeah. So, you know, what you want to do is, you know, you want to incentivize people. Yeah. So maybe, you know, maybe you're not going to get people to spend £500 on a package of treatments in advance. Some people might be game for that. You know, maybe, you know, others won't be, right? But what you want to do is basically try and take a deposit or get a booking against, you know, a future treatment. Okay. So, you know, the way you would do that is you would incentivize people by offering them, you know, adding additional value onto that particular laser hair removal treatment, or offering, you know, a complimentary service onto that, you know, onto that particular treatment, if that makes sense. So, you know, when you purchase, you know, when you put down a deposit for laser hair removal, you also get, I don't know, you know, a complimentary 15-minute massage or 15-minute facial or whatever it may be. It's just about thinking outside of the box here and just trying to really, you know, be as resourceful as possible when speaking to clients, because, you know, you're right. You are in a difficult situation at this moment in time. However, you know, you have to think outside the box and you have to be, you know, as resourceful as possible. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would, I mean, I completely agree with you. My only observation is that I can see people doing this.
Yeah.
It is happening. People are selling courses of treatment to people now and taking deposits for it. So, I mean, all you can really go off is, you know, what's actually happening, and that is happening. So, and I've been quite surprised by that. I mean, yes, you know, selling a machine yesterday is, you know, the world is built up of lots of different personality types. Some people are early movers and some people are very risk averse. Okay. But there is a good percentage of people out there who are very optimistic at this time, who have been very comfortably furloughed, who haven't spent any money, and are all right. It's not everybody. Okay. But there is certainly business out there to be made now. And I believe that you can sell courses of your treatments to people now and get deposits, and maybe even get them to pay in full for their courses of treatments, because some people have that mindset of no fear, you know, and these are the people, you know, we're talking to somebody at the moment looking to spend on one of our top range systems, want it delivered before we come out of lockdown. They want to, you know, aggressively get on the marketing the minute they can. That's that personality type, isn't it? That it's a fast mover and it's an early adopter, and they're ready to just get going and get things back to normal and spend money. So, and as well, remember, you're not selling something to you're not doing a hard sell or a cold sell here, are you? Because you've advertised a consultation with an offer. They wouldn't be doing this consultation with you unless they were what we would call a warm lead. So someone who's quite warm and who's quite receptive, and probably has already thought to themselves, I'll probably get a bit of a deal on a hair removal course here. I've been thinking about it for ages. You know, let's do it. So put the offer in front of them, ask them, and what's the worst that can happen if they don't go for it? You'll have educated them. You'll have made your brand memorable with them.
Built that rapport.
You'll have built rapport, and they're in your pipeline. They're a potential customer for the future. That, you know, when things go back to normal and they do book their laser hair removal, who are they going to book it with? They're going to book it with you because you're the ones that they did the consultation with.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
During this time, right? We've got a bit more chat, so
it's okay. Happy to answer any questions.
I feel courses perhaps really reduces the revenue. I struggle with retail. What can I retail for hair removal? Okay, so when you say the course reduces the revenue, is that because you feel like you're giving additional treatments in the course? And in terms of what you can retail for hair removal, then definitely Light Soothe and Light Protect. So next week I'm going to do a skincare video. So for Lynton customers in the room, I won't labour on about it now, but I'm going to do over the weekend a little video which is like, you know, the top 5 things about each of our skincare products So I'll put that into our Facebook group, and you can just see like how we would be retailing those products at this time. And then, so hopefully that answers your question, but if not, then drop another comment in.
Sure. So somebody's asked, how do you take, Sandra has asked, how do you take payments outside of clinic? Something like iZettle. Yes, yeah, absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head. You can also use PayPal. So simple. Everybody uses PayPal. So you can just use something like that. It's linked to your bank account if you don't have iZettle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions you're seeing there? I
feel discounts devalue the service. So how do I make the right balance? So how do we get away with not discounting?
Sure, that's a great question, and I always say to people that that basically value has to precede what it is you're selling. So you just have to do a really good job, Tina, of explaining the benefits of what it is that you're offering. Yeah, and at the end of the day, you don't have to discount. What you can do is you can just basically add value to what it is that they're getting. So, they're getting laser hair removal or whatever it may be. They're purchasing a packages of laser hair removal that comes with, some sort of complimentary offer or whatever it may be. But the bottom line is you don't have to offer a discount. You just need to make sure that the way that you're explaining the value of the treatment that you're offering is very clear and very concise. Okay, so Tina, you might just need to sharpen up on your sales skills. Maybe read a couple of sales books, but also again, you can add value onto the service. So you can add other things onto the service as well, as long as they're low cost things.
Yeah. Basically. I mean, people want a deal, but that doesn't always mean a discount, does it? They just
it doesn't.
Feel like they've got something for
special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make me feel special. Yeah. Show me why I'm special to you. Yeah. And that doesn't have to come in the form of a discount, Tina. Anything else?
Just check that we've not missed anything. Any other questions then?
Pre-lockdown, I struggled to get clients to pay for a package as they say they can't afford it, but we're willing to pay as they go, which eventually works out more once the course is completed. Okay. Well, that's a question from Tina as well. I struggled to get clients to pay for a package, said they can't afford it, but we're willing to pay as they go, which eventually works out more once course is completed. Yeah, look, Tina, do you know what? Honestly, some people are going to struggle spending, let's just say, £1,000 in one go, right? That's not everybody. That's just some people. But you're going to have to focus on basically how you communicate why people should pay for a course in advance, right? And if some people want to do pay as you go, what you should literally do is if you're speaking to them face to face, get out a piece of paper and a pen and write it down for them. So actually show them and explain to them how it works out to be more. So break it down for them step by step in terms of, what they're saving versus what they're going to be paying over the long term. Okay. But definitely, I would have definitely advised Tina that you, read up on some sales books and some different, sort of sales training and things like that as well. It's well worth the investment, Tina.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that a lot of our clinics selling courses, it is possible to do. I'm not saying this is the case, Tina, but it might be a confidence thing from your point of view as well, because if you've got rejected the first couple of times you tried to sell a course, that might have just made you a bit like, not as confident perhaps as you could be in selling the courses. And I'm not saying that's the case, and not everyone's always going to buy a course. You're going to get some people that say no, and they genuinely want to pay in installments. But I know in our clinic we do sell courses, and we sell them fairly regularly. And read upon sales techniques, as Kris says, but also Kirsty and Emma in our clinic are doing this every day, and they're really good at it, really natural. So let's set up a call for you with one of those guys when they come back. And, you know, Kirsty will give you a run through of her patter and how she sells laser hair removal courses to people as well. So we'll set that up.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
And she'll also she's asked for some. Can I do a chat on selling a course? Yeah, I can do. I could do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think that would be absolutely fantastic. I think that'd be so valuable for all of the viewers. You know, Tina, I'll give you a really specific example here. I've got a client who, when we run marketing campaigns for her, she only does full body laser hair removal. That is all she does. Yeah, in terms of the treatments, and that costs I think it's like £1,250 or whatever it may be for the full body package. She very easily sells 7 to 10 of those a month. So, you know, people are selling these packages, but, you know, I think Hayley really hit the nail on the head there. It could just be to do with confidence. So again, you know, definitely invest in reading some sales material, some motivation material. Here's a really, really good book. Gosh, I've forgotten the lady's name, but it's called I Am a Badass. That's what it's called, and the book is really good. It's an American lady. Highly recommend you read that book. I've got it on my phone actually. I'll look for it in a second. Have we got any more questions?
Yeah, I might do. I'll put a post in the Facebook group and just ask what people would like to hear us talk about over the next couple of weeks. But I've got on my list to do a marketing your treatments webinar. So I will, and that's just like particularly Lynton treatment. So I apologise if you're not a Lynton customer. But that will include things like make sure you're using our awards logo, you know, using award-winning lasers, make sure you're using it. So, and the sorts of things that might go into this presentation that Kris has talked us through today. So I'll do, for Lynton customers specifically, I'll do how to market your Lynton treatments. And I could do a couple of slides at the end there, which is about sales specifically. So like how you move someone through the sales process as well. So, yeah, we can do that. And actually it'd be really good to get a couple of you on who are users, who are selling courses of Lynton lasers, and get your experiences, because obviously I sell the machines. I don't necessarily sell the courses of treatments so much anymore. So why don't we get Christina, great, come and, you know, all of us will get in a room together at some point, maybe do a coffee morning or something like that, talk specifically about, you know, the sales pitch. So yeah, got some good ideas there. We'll sort something out. And I can see you're putting in some good references here as well.
Yeah, I'm just getting some in there. Yeah.
What I'll do as well, Kris, is you've sent me a link, haven't you, to send to people?
Yes, I have. Yeah. So, should I drop that link in there?
I can bulk email everybody. No, blind data protected. I can email everyone. So I'll get these references for you, and we'll get that sent out to the whole.
Great. Okay, so just to give that's fantastic. So just so you know, I recorded an interview with Annabelle where she breaks down her whole consultation presentation. So guys, if you want to get a look at that if you actually want to take a look at that consultation presentation, I've got an amazing video with Annabelle, which Hayley's going to send out to you, okay, where she goes through her presentation step by step, and you can literally just like replicate exactly what you see. You can model your own presentation based on Annabelle's presentation, and I really want you guys to get your hands on that. So Hayley will email that out to you, okay?
I will.
Yeah, wonderful.
They sometimes offer 3 treatments with the discount. I think that's a good idea. So rather than selling the 6, you can do a course of 4 or something along those lines.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is the general field to start selling now? I sort of think it is, actually. Yeah, not a hard sell.
Go for it.
A hard sell.
Yeah.
But an educational open forum, you know.
Yeah.
So what we are doing at Lynton is we're going to be doing more webinars that are product focused over the next few weeks, but they're still educational. That doesn't mean that I'm putting up loads of posts saying buy this laser now, you know, at this reduced price. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm just shifting the conversation more towards products and the features and the benefits of our products. And I feel like that is acceptable to do now. I think I've seen other companies doing it, and whereas before someone would put something up and it would be a bit sort of slated, that isn't necessarily the case now. So I don't think you want to be too hard and pushy with things, but I don't know, what do you think, Kris?
Look, I think the bottom line is that if you sort of put your head in the sand and just say, oh, I'm just going to wait this thing out and, you know, and see how things go, right? Like businesses that take that approach, you know, they're going to really, really, really struggle, right? The fact is that you have to be visible and you have to be active. You actually have to double down now that this situation is happening, right, and it's here and it's present. Yeah, we are in a recession. Yeah, we're at the beginning stages of a recession. You're going to have to double down now in terms of your activity and in terms of your outreach to existing customers. You're going to have to post more frequently. You're going to have to spend money on advertising. You know, you're just going to have to keep pushing your business out there, right? Because, you know, if you disappear and you completely come off the radar, then, you know, when businesses do start opening up and you know, things start returning back to normal, it's those who have been active who are going to basically take the larger slice of the cake, so to speak, as opposed to those who've, you know, just popping up and re-emerging again, if that makes sense, Hayley. So yes, you know, you need to market and you need to be active. However, as Hayley has said, you need to be strategic about how you're doing it. Okay. We are offering value in advance, of asking, you know, for any exchange in terms of money. Value always precedes asking for someone to, you know, to become a customer. So think of it like that.
Well, I will echo what Tina has said to finish. Wonderful. This has been great. Thank you so much, Kris. That has been brilliant, like so useful. Thank you so much for giving us all of that free information. Please
welcome.
go and check out Kris on Facebook. So do you want to tell people how they can get in touch with you or how they can learn more about you? And
okay, yeah, sure. So they can visit my website, which is aestheticsmarketinginstitute.com. They can also reach out to me via Facebook. So my name on Facebook is Kris Trinity. Oh yeah, we have a fantastic group on Facebook as well, which I want you all to go and join, which is Aesthetic Clinic Growth Secrets. Okay, so please go and join that group right now. Okay, we have some fantastic things on there. I'm giving out loads of free content on there. That's our private Facebook group. Please go on there, join up on there. Okay, and Hayley will send you out. My interview with Annabelle, where she breaks down her entire consultation process as well. Facebook group name is Aesthetic Clinic Growth Secrets. Okay, Aesthetic Clinic Growth Secrets. I hope that's helpful, guys. We'd love to see you in there.
I'll put all of this information into an email, and you'll get it after the talk, so you won't miss out on anything. Just check your junk. I don't know why, but a couple of people said that the Lynton emails have gone into their junk recently, so just check your junk. But by the end of today, you should have an email from me with all of this in.
Wonderful, and I hope that was helpful, guys. It
was amazing. Thank you so much. Really good.
Thank you, Hayley. I appreciate it.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck. Yeah, look, your feedback's great. Fantastic session. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So yeah, best of luck, everybody. Good luck with your online consultations. Let us know how you get on.
Guys, take action, please.
Thanks so much for taking the time, Kris.
All right, Hayley, you're more than welcome. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye. Bye, guys.